Before we start this video, I want to give a big shout out to my KOG members of the month, Ryan McDonough, Blue Cat, and Run2127. You guys are all awesome, just saying. If you want your name here, consider hitting that join button for exclusive channel benefits. How's it going, guys? RNG Life here, and today we're taking a look at the best cards in the new leaked main box, Shining Hope. This is the box that's going to be bringing Exceeds to the game finally, aka the Utopia box. So for everybody who was like, from my previous video, by the way, this is like my second time actually recording this, so I'm a little bit annoyed, but we're gonna be speeding through it because my power tends to go out, and yeah, so I can't do things for very long. But what did you expect from Konami? Of course, they had to put Utopia in a main box. You're not gonna get him from like Yuma or whatever. If anything, we might get lucky and just get another copy of Gaga Magician. Well, these are the main URs and the SRs, and yes, you are seeing some Exceeds right now. So let's see what we got. First of all, we got the standard. You got Utopia over here. Utopia is kind of like I would say this would be the card that everyone's gonna be running in their deck because it can be splashed in any level 4 deck. But now that it's a UR in a main box, I don't know. We'll have to wait until eventually at some point in the future we get a structure deck that reprints Utopia. That's what I believe. That's what I'm pretty sure is going to happen. Kind of like what happened with Red Dragon Archfiend. So expect that to happen. Utopia is a super easy monster to summon. It's a warrior, 2500 attack, 2000 defense. It just needs 2 level 4 monsters, overlay them, and bam, you get this boy out. So if you've ever had a position or a game state where you've had 2 level 4 monsters on the board, bam, you could summon Utopia. Very easy. So this card says when the monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the attack, and if this card is targeted for an attack while it has no materials, destroy this card. Next up, this is the deck that I think might actually shine out of this box. This main box is bringing us Teleknights, and all I know is that Teleknights are actually pretty viable. So here's Teleknight or Stellar Knight Delteros. So this requires 3 level 4 monsters, so a little bit harder to summon, but maybe not too difficult. I don't know. But this one says, while this card has Exceeds material, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal or special summon a monster. Meaning, when you bring out a monster, normal or special, they cannot activate like Floodgate Trap Hole. They can't activate stuff on summon, which is pretty nice. I think that's pretty cool. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 card on the field, and destroy it. So another really good effect, by the way, just free destruction. Awesome. Really good card. I can see why it's a UR. And then it says, if this card is sent from the field to the grave, special summon 1 Teleknight monster from your hand or deck. Deck is what makes it real spicy. So yes, and then of course Teleknights, if you guys don't know, when they are summoned they get effects. So when they're summoned they get another search, they get a special summon, they get a lot of benefits. So very cool indeed. This card is actually looking pretty strong. But yeah, that's for the XCs. That's the XCs in the URs. Now we're taking a look at Utopic Onomatopoeia. I think that's how I say that, right? It's Onomatopoeia. So this guy's actually looking pretty spicy because he has some pretty decent synergy with some of the Gaga support. Because this guy says that if this card is always treated as a Zubababa, Gagaga, Gogogo, and Dororo card. So yeah, you know a lot of these cards require you to have a Gagaga or some other onomatopoeia card on the field to use them. This guy is basically a one-fits-all card, and he will work with all of them, which is really nice. During the main phase, you can special summon up to 1 each Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogo, and or Dororo monster from your hand in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Exceeds monsters, which is pretty, I mean, it's what you're going to be doing either way. And you can only use the effect of this guy once per turn, so very nice. He basically is able to summon himself and then swarm out all your other boys, and then overlay, so that's looking pretty nice. Now the thing is, over here, this guy he doesn't require anything. It's just level 4 monsters, so this guy might actually have some synergy with this thing. I don't know. You could probably splash that thing in there. So that's looking pretty interesting. Next up, we got Teleknight Deneb. You don't really need to go too much in detail on what this card does. Literally a 1500 monster that when you summon it, it searches a Teleknight monster from your deck to your hand. That's it. That's pretty much what it does. And so once per turn. Hard once per turn. GG. That's all it does. It's a very good card though, because this will search you your Altair, which is this guy down here, and yeah, you continue doing stuff. But pretty good card, and it's really good to do after you've like done a play and then get a free special summon, then you special summon Deneb. That's when you want to do it. Next up, we got Caius, the Shadow Monarch. Now, it's kind of crazy that we're getting Caius out of nowhere, because this is like, it has nothing to do with Xyz, but sure, might as well give us Caius. So Caius is one of the monarchs that has been missing for the longest time. I think we're only missing one, and I think that might be the Wind Monarch. If this card is Tribute Summon, target one card on the field, banish that target, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent if it's a dark monster. So you don't really have to worry too much about the burn damage. It basically, on Tribute Summon, it banishes a free thing, which is awesome. That's really, really good. So Monarchs might finally be doing something now that they have their boy Caius. So awesome. Next up, we got Goblin Berg. So Goblin Berg is one of the standard, straightforward Xyz boys. This guy is a staple for Xyz players, or at least early on, because you summon him and he special summons another level 4 or lower monster from your hand, and yeah, and this guy goes to defense, then you just overlay. So very, very easy. He's like a one card, not really one card, but you know what I mean. If you have cards in your hand, you summon him, summon another one, bam, overlay. So one card, level 4 overlay for the most part. Very, very cool card. Goblin Berg is awesome. DD Crow is being added to the game, and this is kind of insane because DD Crow is one of those cards that's like super really good at just like stopping things that are going to activate in the grave. Your opponent does a play. I won't go into specifics, but they go into a play, and then you're like, oh, hold on, I got a quick effect in my hand on your turn or whatever, and you get rid of it, and you can actually banish a card in your opponent's grave at any point, at any time. Very, very nice card. I kind of like it because you throw it away, you can banish, I don't know, something that they're trying to revive, something that they're trying to like use in the grave. So DD Crow looking pretty cool. Next up, we got a Forbidden Scripture. Forbidden Scripture is a card that I did not know existed, but this is another forbidden card, like Forbidden Lance, Forbidden Dress, Chalice, so on and so forth. So Forbidden Scripture over here says, it is a quick play spell, which is already pretty awesome. If a monster battles an opponent's monster, during damage calc, which is insane, negate all other card effects on the field until the end of the damage step. Holy crap, dude. And also damage calc for this battle uses each of the monster's original attack and defense. So you attack into your opponent, and this card basically says every other face-up card is negated. No effects, nobody's getting effects. Also, hey, your monster was boosted or whatever? Nah, dude, we're back to our original stats, which is pretty cool, but it's a little bit niche. I still think it's not as good as, I don't know, Lance and all the other ones, but I don't know. You never know how this might shift the actual meta, and this card might become the best card in this box. Speaking of best card in this box, finally got Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain is one of them cards that is just like, everybody wants it. If you're thinking about pulling this and going into this box, you're probably going to have to because Fiendish Chain is in it. Fiendish Chain is one of those amazing cards. It's also going to be really, really good to stop Xyz, because if everybody's going to be committing all these cards, 2 or 3 monsters, to summon one Xyz monster, you can just be like, nah, man, Fiendish Chain, your monster has no effect. So that's why Fiendish Chain is so good right now. So cool. Fiendish Chain is awesome. Good luck getting it. It's a UR in a main box. Of course it is. But whatever. Let's go into the SRs now. Finally going into the SRs. Let's see what we got. So first up, we got Gaga Samurai. We got our official Gaga support card. So I already talked about the Gaga structure deck in the last video, so it should be really good support for that deck. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target one Gaga monster you control. It can make a second attack during each battle phase's turn. When another monster you control is targeted for an attack while this card is in attack position, you can change this card to defense position, and if you do, basically change the target to this guy and then go straight to damage calc, which is kind of cool, because I feel like that might mess with a lot of cards that want to use I don't know, certain phases or whatever, so it goes straight to damage calc, which could be interesting. But basically, the beauty of Samurai is that, sure, he's a 1900 monster, he has the ability to attack twice, so cool, maybe. Give him Power of the Guardians, dude, and GG. So the things can be pretty interesting with this guy, especially because of his other effect, because if somebody else is getting attacked, him plus Power of the Guardians, super spicy, dude. They literally have him in attack position, they attack one of your other things. This guy absorbs the hit by going into defense. Also, Power of the Guardians, your monster's gonna be just unkillable. So Samurai's looking pretty spicy. I think he's a pretty cool card. So next up, we got number 25, Force Focus. One of the first number monsters being added aside from Utopia. So this is a level 6. This is the first level 6 monster, or rank 6 Xyz that we're talking about. And yeah, so he's gonna be a little bit harder to summon because level 4s are super easy to get out. Level 6s though, We'll see. Maybe Thunder Dragons or something. Force Focus over here says you need 2 level 6 monsters. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card and target 1 level 5 or higher effect monster your opponent controls. Negate the effects of that opponent's face-up monster until the end of this turn, which is pretty okay. The thing that makes this guy better is that he's a 2800 beater. So you have a 2800 beater, and if your opponent wants to go into any kind of crazy effect for whatever reason with a large monster, you get to basically say, nah man, I'm just gonna negate you real quick. A quick effect, I can do it on my turn, I can do it on your turn. It's pretty nice. So Force Focus looks pretty cool. Also the fact that he's pretty large, so it looks alright. Next up, we got another Exceeds monster over here. We got Mellow Melody, the Brass Djinn. Now, this is one of those cards that I think we got in an actual structure deck in the TCG. And it was like a starter deck, actually. It might have been a starter deck. It was a very bad starter deck, but everybody was playing it back in the day, dude. That's how you got Utopia. So the Brass Djinn over here needs 2 level 3 monsters. So this is our first rank 3 Exceeds. Cool. So now even level 3s can join the party and Exceeds. So this one says once per turn you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 Djinn monster you control, make a second attack. That's about it. And the thing is, it has to be a Djinn Exceeds monster. So for all you thinking, ooh, there's a lot of ritual Djinns, trust me, it won't work. It needs to be Exceeds. But yeah, trust me, I already looked into it. I was like, wait, this card's stats are garbage. What if we give it like, what do we power out, use the effect on another monster? No, there's nothing. Then we got nothing else. But maybe we'll get the rest of the band for these cards at some other point. But yeah, we got the Brass Djinn. It's all right. And now we got Boojins over here. Boojins, it's kind of crazy that Boojins are getting their like Exceeds first over like a lot of other things. So yeah, Boojins are over here. They got 2 level 4 light monsters is what's necessary to summon this guy, and this is Bujinte Tsukuyomi. So yeah, this guy is looking pretty interesting. Basically says once per turn you can detach 1 material from this card, send your entire hand to the graveyard, minimum 1 by the way, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So if you have 1 card in your hand, that's for free +1. That's pretty cool. So draw 2 cards. When this card you controlled while face up on the field, or while face up leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 level 4 Boojin, Beast Warrior Boojin, make one of the good ones, and in your graveyard up to the number of Exceeds monsters this guy had on the field, special summon those targets, and you can only control 1 copy of this card. So it's pretty good because it's that free draw power. Also, if you have a lot of cards in hand, it doesn't matter. You put a whole bunch of the Boojin monsters in the grave, and they all activate in the grave for the most part. There's some hand ones, there's a lot of grave ones. So yeah, that's the benefit of Tsukuyomi over here. Pretty cool card. 1800 though, pretty weak, but 2300 defense. I mean, I guess you're going to be putting this guy in defense and so on and so forth. But this guy's pretty cool because he pays for himself as long as he has 1 material at the end of the day, and he can summon back in like your Yamato or whatever. So yeah, not bad. So this guy's pretty cool. Now we got Gaga Sister. We got the Sister over here, and so yeah, she basically just says when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Gaga spell and trap from the deck to your hand. Pretty nice. You can target 1 other Gaga monster you control, the levels of that monster, and this card become their combined current levels. I mean, so I'm guessing if you have a 4 on the field and you summon her, they both become level 6s, which could be pretty interesting for summoning your Force Focus Camera Boy. So that's a potential play, maybe. Now here we go, so Teleknight Altair. Altair is really, really good. Probably one of the, I'm surprised this guy's not the actual UR, but this guy says if this card is summoned in general, dude, it's just summoned, you can target 1 Teleknight monster in your graveyard except Teleknight Altair, special summon that monster in defense. Also, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except Teleknight monsters, and you can only use this guy's effect once per turn. So basically he's really, really good because you go into a special summon of any kind or whatever, normal summon this guy, special summon something else, overlay, and I just think Teleknights are going to be pretty decent. So next up we got some reprints or cards from the selection box being put in here. We got Aaron, Lightsworn Monk, and we also got this Phosphorus, the Elemental Lord. These cards were in a selection box. This is your chance to get them. They're okay, I guess, but I just don't really think they're that great. I see a lot of Lightsworn players maybe running this at 1, and even then it's just like, it's 1 because it's like a very niche card. And then this card I have never seen it get played. So, I mean, use it as at your own discretion. And then we got Gagabolt. Now, this is the reason that she is good, because when you summon her, I think she searches this, so. And this card says, you control a Gaga monster, target one card on the field and destroy that target. So that could potentially mean that if you have the sister, you can just destroy a free thing on the field. So that's pretty okay. That's not too bad. And then especially if you have a second monster, so you can actually overlay, then things could be pretty interesting. Now, here's what makes Teleknights over here pretty interesting. We got Stellar Nova Alpha. This one says, when a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, send one face-up Teleknight monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do destroy, then draw one card. GG, dude. Summon Deneb, set this card pass. Your opponent activates a thing on, like they summon a monster, try to get an effect. You're like, nah, man, Alpha, negate, throw away Deneb. Next turn, normal summon my Altair. Altair revives Deneb. I get to search for it with Deneb again, dude. Pretty nice. And then, yeah, you overlay, and then you just start doing some stuff. So, this card is very good for that starting play. Very cool. Speaking of counter traps, by the way, we also have Xyz Block. Xyz Block is a straight up another counter trap that says, when your opponent activates a monster effect, detach one Xyz material from a monster you control, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. So, pretty cool. It's anti-monster effect and only works if you have Xyz monsters on board. So, if you got one of these guys on board, it basically says, oh, hey, I can negate at any point. So, Xyz Block could be pretty good if Xyz get, like, a lot more relevant. So, there's that. I mean, we also did get these other 4 Xyz, which I'll talk about either way. Might as well. We got Bujinte Susanoo, or Susan Uwu, which is what I'm going to call it. So we got this thing over here, which needs 2 level 4 Bujins. This card can attack all monster opponent controls once each, which is very nice. And once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, take one Bujin monster from the deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the grave, and you can control only one copy of this guy. So he's really good. This guy's just generally awesome because he can basically, I think they used to use him as the one boss monster. So because he would attack everybody, and then they'd use, like, I think Kaiser Coliseum or something. But yeah, you use him as your only boss monster, attack everything, and then you're just drawing and milling and doing all the stuff on the end phase. At least you can do it once or twice, but yeah. So that guy's pretty awesome. I think he might be a little bit better than the one we got over here, but they both have their benefits. For a straight boss monster, this one's looking pretty good. We also got Swordbreaker, which is another level 6 or rank 6. Now, this one needs 2 level 6 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card to declare one monster type. This card gains the following effect. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster of a type that has been declared, destroy that monster. So he kind of becomes Catastrophe, which is pretty cool. Only thing is, you have to, like, it is once per turn, not during either player's turn. Therefore, you have to call it. You have to detach, call it, then go into battle, then actually swing through that monster. It's kind of like telegraphing a punch. You're really letting your opponent know, I'm going to hit your monster, you better block it. So, Swordbreaker's alright though. I mean, he's a rare. We got Grenosaurus, which is one of the reasons why I think we're getting the nerf in the game, where all Xyz burn cards are going to do half as much damage. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sent to the grave, detach a material, burn them for 1,000. In Duel Links, burn them for 500 most likely. So, cool. I mean, that's not a bad card. It's alright. I mean, it is kind of a bad card, but if this is all we have, then this is all we have. And then we have Shining Elf, which is another one of those cards that I'm just like, wow, dude, I can't believe we got this card. It's just such a dumb card. It's like, it's not because it's a good card, it's not that great. But yeah, it's a level 2. They want even level 2s to join the party. 2 level 2 monsters. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during damage step, you can detach one material from this card, and that monster loses 500 attack. So they would need a 2200 monster summon to take out your Shining Elf, because he's a 1600 monster. So GG, there you guys have it. That's pretty much it with this whole box. We're getting a lot of interesting stuff. Of course, we're gonna get some Gaga support, a lot of Xyz support, so on and so forth. We're gonna have Bujin support all day. With a lot of reprints for Bujins and stuff. So yeah, man, I mean, looking pretty interesting. But of course, we got the Teleknight monsters. They're looking pretty interesting. Let me know what you guys think is gonna be the best thing in this new main box. Let me know if you guys are also hyped for it, because you know I am, dude. I just want to play some, like, actual Utopia stuff. I really want to try out that onomatopoeia for Utopics, and of course the Teleknights, which I think Duel Links meta is going to be all over. By the way, shout out to Duel Links meta for having this website, which made it easier for me to format my opinions and stuff. But whatever, that's pretty much that. And if you guys enjoyed, go and leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Duel Links shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys.